Hey folks, how you doing? Okay. I'm talking about the new cycle. We're entering into a new cycle. I think we all have a sense of that or a feeling, you know what I mean, about this new cycle business. Given the state of affairs, okay, in our world today, we sense that there's a future coming that we don't know about it, right? But if a person, some of them are, but anyway, a person who gets into the hieroglyphic writings and understand those writings from a mystical perspective that is not the ordinary view, but the underlying view, the mystical view. Okay? You just must let yourself be swallowed up by the writings, you know. And they are the ones who can tell us, hey, what's going on here? Or what's going to happen? You know? They give us an idea. How come? How come these hieroglyphic writings can give us some perspective on what's going to come? Because we live in a world of cycles. And those hieroglyphic writings, some of them are so old that the ancient Egyptian priests, the Kemite priests, didn't understand some of the writings. They're so terribly old. And those ancient folks, I'm from about far back, went by knowledge. And so they contained information of the cycles, etc., knowledge of the cycles. And when they start writing in their sign language, which was a long time ago, hence the hieroglyphic writings, that's where they come from, okay? When they started writing in sign language, they put their knowledge in the signs. But this was so far back, that's why I say some of the old priests from the Kemite situation didn't understand all the writings. Okay. So if we today get those writings and can get into there and get the mystical aspect, we know what's going to happen. We know what's going on, you see. I say mystical aspect because the ancient folks, when they first started writing them hieroglyphic writing, they didn't have a verbal language. That's why they wrote in signs. They didn't have a verbal. So this is way far back. You know what I mean? But they went by knowledge, not intelligence. That's far back. You know what I mean? But they could scribble and write. Okay. So if I was a up-and-coming country, you know what I mean? I would collect my scholars, at least some of them, and send them to Europe to go to the museums of Europe, institutions of higher learning, etc., where we find the hieroglyphic writings, and set about the studying those writings. Now, people are doing it already. Sure they are. The Europeans got those writings from the temples and the tombs and all that stuff of the Kemites, okay, and took them back to Europe. That's where they are. They got their scholars studying them. They're not going to let anybody get a leg up on them. You know, they've been studying them all along, since they had them, okay. So if you're an up-and-coming country and you want to play catch-up and, you know what I mean, send somebody to Europe to learn how to read those hieroglyphs. Because they took all the scriptures. They got them all up there, you might as well say. And they still uncover, tombs with writings and stuff. You know what I mean? but go to Europe if you can. Okay? And understand those hieroglyphic writings. They will tell of the future. But like I say, you got to take a mystical perspective. Because when a lot of those writings were actually written, those signs are written, the people were more in terms of what we would call mysticism today. You know what I mean? And so the literal interpretation, which is basically based on intelligence and so forth and so on, okay, is not going to give you the underlying interpretation because they wasn't written in that sense. Okay? They were written based on knowledge, not intelligence. Okay? So yeah, if you're an up-and-coming country, I would say, wait a minute. You got to get into those hieroglyphic writing because that's where the message is. That's where the information is that you need, or the knowledge. Okay, folks? And so, yeah, if you're a leader of a country, send somebody on to Europe or somewhere, or maybe to Egypt. Maybe they, got something left, Okay, folks, take it easy, and remember, we're entering into a new cycle. Truly. We know this. We got a feeling for it. Okay? And so when that cycle ends, the old one and the one we're in now completely ends, we'll be into a new cycle. And it seems like, given the events that are taking place in our world today, it seems like we will be in that new cycle pretty soon. But remember that old cycle is not going to be completely dismantled. Okay? It will, some of it at least, will be born in the new cycle. It will relive in a new cycle. It'll become a part of it. Like some of the old and the new and all that stuff. Okay? This is how it goes with cycles. The whole thing is not to be dismantled. We're told this when we see the snake with its tail in its mouth. That's what they're talking about. The tail is the old cycle. The head of the snake is the new. We should take advantage of what we got here in the old cycle. Because some of us are going to be in a new cycle. These things are true. Okay, folks? Have a good one.